Ready? Okay, we'll have a moment of silent meditation and pledge to the flag. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hereby call this meeting of the Montague County Commission to order. It is Wednesday, October 9th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Bloom and Commissioner Secor are present. First item on the agenda is consent and approval with our County Administrator, Renetta McClure. Good morning, Renetta.
Good morning.
You have 11 exonerations for $4,344.42. Minutes for October 2nd, 2024. Vouchers, General County Fund, $159,955.13. Magistrate Court, $92.43. 911, $83,850.75. Chestnut Ridge Park, $3,948.50. Camp Monthly, $473.88. Mason-Dixon Park, $1,265.88. Mon County Center, $5,841.60. Opioid Settlement Funds, $2,562.15. Payroll, $1,833,669.83. Purchasing card vouchers, General County, $5,737.99. 911, $1,012. Chestnut Ridge Park, $481.36. Camp Muffley, $545.35. Mason-Dixon Park, $260.15. Mon County Center, $830.69. Assessor's valuation, $788.50. For a voucher total of $2,101,316.19. You have no budget revisions. Position vacancies for boards and authorities are listed on the county's website, and fiduciary orders for October 9th, 2024.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent and approval items as presented?
Move for approval.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any fiduciary items?
No, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is introduction of new employee personnel changes. Sheriff Perry Palmer. Morning, Sheriff. Morning. How are you?
Good. I have with me Jacob Lipscomb, who will be starting as a full-time deputy sheriff on October 16th at a starting salary of $4,402 per month.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Welcome.
Welcome to the county.
Thank you.
Any other personnel matters?
No, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is our comments from the public session. I'll now open the comments from the public session. Anybody wishing to be heard, please raise their hand and come forward. Come on forward. Good morning.
How
Morning.
you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Mary Ann Foles, 828 Bloody Run Road. I'm pretty sure you guys have that memorized by now. Topic of the day is the assessor's office. I know this is a sticky one, but I have never shied away from the sticky conversations that I think we need to be having in our county. I've done a lot of thinking about this because I know it has a lot of impact for how the county is run in certain ways. And I have thought a lot about what's in the best interest of the employees as what's in the best interest of the county. And so I'm going to share my perspective. My intent is to be helpful, and I'm hoping that you listen to this kind of in the spirit of that, knowing that you've got your own perspectives, but I'm hoping this provides some perspective that maybe you haven't thought of and some viewpoints that you can use as you're deciding what you're going to do. First of all, I am also glad that you've decided to meet with the United Mine Workers folks. I do think that's, the right first step in trying to resolve some of the employees' concerns. So from an employee perspective, I have heard the concerns that they have. I've been watching this whole thing right alongside you guys this whole way. I know they have tried to reach out. I know they haven't gotten a lot of response back. And I know that is both frustrating for them as well as leaves them, feeling unheard. They do not have an HR department to go to. They do not have another next level manager to go to. When I worked in industry, I always had those things. And this group doesn't really have anywhere else to go. And when I have heard the concerns that they have, what they're looking for really is fair compensation. They want to keep their health care benefits. They want to be listened to, and they want to feel respected. And they're not feeling that way right now. And frankly, as someone who comes to these meetings almost every week, and I speak at most of them, I can share that feeling because, quite honestly, I go back to my seat and frequently feel as though I haven't been listened to or heard, or I've been discounted. So I completely can relate to that feeling. So it's not just a couple of people who, are being emotional. I'm not an emotional person at all. But I'm a little nervous right now, but I'm not emotional. But I can tell you, I understand that feeling. I do believe that in this particular instance, the union can serve as a gap to bridge the gap between you all and these employees, because right now you guys are sitting on different ends of the table and not talking. So from that perspective, from the employee perspective, I respect their request and I support what they're trying to achieve, which is representation for the union. Now, from the county's perspective, which I'm sure is what you're thinking about more, the reason I think it is good for the county is, number one, you have a bunch of unhappy employees, and they took a vote and overwhelmingly voted in favor of unionizing. And that tells me that you guys have perhaps a bigger problem than you may have realized, but you guys are not, you just have not been able to resolve this without the union or any other outside help, or on your own for that matter. So that's the first reason is, you've got some unhappy folks you really need to address that issue. The second reason I think you should is because from the reputation of this county, we want to be known as a county that people want to come work with, for. We want to be known as a county that attracts and retains great employees, that has the respect of their employees. That's what I want from my county administration, and I would think that you would want the same thing too. You want to be known as a county that people want to work for. And then thirdly, I think if you chose to work with the union, it demonstrates that you are willing to listen, that you are willing to come to the table and meet with what the employees are requesting. So those are the three things that, from a county perspective, I think I would be considering if I was sitting up there in your shoes. Now, you could choose to look at a union in a negative light or in a positive light.
Okay, I do want to, we generally have a limit on the amount of time that you're allowed to speak, so I'd ask that you try to wrap it up.
I will.
We
I'm
do
almost
have a
done.
very
I'm
full
almost
agenda.
done. I will go quickly. So let me just finish this up by, I've talked with these people, I've listened to them both from the union's perspective, from the employee's perspective. All of them are folks that I would be happy to work with. I would have no qualms about working with any of them. They're all the kind of people, you want to hang out with on a bonfire on a Saturday night. They're just great people. I don't see any alternative motives. They're just the kind of people I think you would enjoy knowing and getting to work with. Lastly, I'm just going to say I would not suggest something to you that I wouldn't be willing to take on myself. I just wouldn't do that. It would not be in my best interest to do that. And so I would not be suggesting it if I didn't think it was something that you all should be considering. So as I stand here, I proudly support the assessor's request, and I would proudly support representation from the UMW for those employees. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public comment section of the meeting. And our next item on the agenda is we have a number of presentations, but we have Rebecca Fint Clark from the Extension Office to do your annual National 4-H Week
Yes.
presentation. Good
Yes.
morning, Becca.
Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Becca Fint Clark, and I am the WVU Monongalia County 4-H and Youth Development Extension Agent. I will be celebrating 17 years in February, which is really hard to believe. I remember first coming here and being so nervous and not really knowing exactly what I was doing. And so I think 4-H has come an awfully long way since then, and I'm really proud of our programming. This summer, I brought some 4-Hers for you to hear from, to talk about camp, to talk about the fairs. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our numbers for the last year. The 4-H year runs from October 1st to September 30th, so we're just getting started with 4-H now. I gave you a report with lots of information to show you sort of what we've been into, but it has been very successful. 4-H is going strong here. So last year we had 5,260 youth participate in 4-H activities that aren't considered members or campers. Those youth participated in school enrichment activities, different opportunities that we provided throughout the year for them to participate in. I'm really proud of our school programming. We spend a lot of time in the elementary schools here with a lot of support from our Board of Education. We had 340 registered community members last year, and I will mention 302 campers. So we did add one more 4-H camp. The only county that has four 4-H camps, and that one was held at Mason-Dixon Park, so we're excited to offer that again next summer. We're pretty much at capacity at Camp Muffley with our younger camp, and everybody loves camp. So with our community clubs tonight, we have our Cloverbud Club. That's kindergarten through second grade. 60 members typically come monthly to participate in various educational activities designed for that age group. We have a lot of teens who help us, so that gives them leadership skills. It's just a really wild but fun time, just getting them excited about 4-H and what all we have to offer. We do offer every programming throughout the county. That's really important to me. Having grown up in Aurora and Preston County, seemed like everything was in Kingwood. So I want to make sure that we have a lot of opportunities for our friends in the western end. So we do have community clubs that meet out there. We use the beautiful barn facility there. We take full advantage of the Mon County Center here. So I just want to thank you so much for your appreciation of the 4-H program, what you do for us, the support that you provide. I don't know what we would do without it, and I'm really proud of the relationship we have with the County Commission. Also, one last thing, 4-H enrollment just started, and I think it was like maybe we're in the second week. We have 161 members already enrolled. I'm planning some teen activities. That was something that I did a needs assessment, and a lot of people suggested teen-specific activities. So we have a holiday party coming up. We're having a community service event coming up where we'll do, they love to bake, so we'll bake cookies for first responders and deliver those. So lots of things happening. I'm always here. If you ever have any ideas or things that you think 4-H would be good, Extension can provide, we're here for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Add anything? Thank you, Becca. You're doing a wonderful job. We're really proud here in Mon County to have you running the extension program and working with these kids. The passion that you have for these kids in a program exudes as you every time we meet with you, and thanks for all these numbers. I really
Yes.
appreciate that. And
Commissioner Kennedy loved numbers, so I got really used to giving him lots and lots of numbers. So I think you're a numbers too. You're a numbers guy too.
yes, so
Yes, he is.
I certainly appreciate that. But we're here for you anytime, and certainly appreciate you bringing kids in anytime to meet with us. So thank you.
Oh, I do have one question. I was asked again. Are you planning to have another mini camp out at Mason-Dixon Park? That seems to be a big interest.
It was really, really fun. So we only had, it's sort of funny, we only had 17 campers and like 15 teens that helped, so we
Yeah.
almost had a 1-to-1 ratio of helper to camper. I'm hoping to build that up. We are going to offer that again.
Okay, good.
It was really fun. We let them get in the creek, and they
I know,
really
yes.
loved that. So, it was great. Angela was great to work with. Rachel at the center is great to work. We just have great relationships with everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Next item on the agenda, we have a presentation from Tiffany Summerlin with Montague County Health Department regarding the Smile Express program.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Sikora, for inviting me, and I feel like this is a very friendly place to come to talk about something that I'm extremely passionate about that could not be what it is today without the support of the commission, so I appreciate you for inviting me to come speak. Let me see about getting this to the next slide.
All right.
I did just want to provide a brief history about Smile Express. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't really know what it is that we are doing, but in 2017, we started with an idea. I approached my boss at the time and said, this is what I would like to do. I want a mobile program that serves kids in our region. And, you know, it turned into a grant that was applied for through Delta Dental Foundation, funded us to purchase our first mobile clinic that served us all the way up until a few months ago. So in 2018, we started seeing kids in schools in 6 different counties. And, you know, and I think the most important thing to focus on right now is that we did receive funding from Aetna Better Health of West Virginia last year to the tune of $500,000, which allowed us to purchase a brand new mobile clinic. We actually just received it in September, and it is an amazing clinic to have. We'll be able to use it year round. It's just a lot more robust than the last one. So I'm really excited for what that new clinic will mean to our program. You know, our program consists of 3 staff members for the most part. Dr. Yusuf Kassar is our program manager at the Montague County Health Department Dental Clinic. He oversees the Smile Express program utilizing direct access supervision. So a lot of times I will take the mobile unit out by myself with my assistant, and I'm a public health hygienist. And so I'm able to provide a lot of services that without the dentist being present, because we have the ability to share images and share charts through our cloud-based software. And so that really gives us a lot more ability to go out and do things. So there's Dr. Kassar, and then my assistant, Velvet Urgo. She has been with me since 2017, getting everything going, and she is amazing at what she does and helping, set the patients up for success from when they enroll to when we send their referrals to their different locations. So we're a small team, but all of us have a passion for doing the things that we're doing. So it really does make a big difference. So I know that Commissioner Sikora, you had a chance to view our new mobile clinic. So it has so many bells and whistles to it. We could stand here probably for an hour and talk about all the different things. But the thing that really sets it apart from the last one that we had, it does have a wheelchair lift, which it's almost like a drawer that sits in the side of the unit. So we will be able to easily have anybody of any disability or ability to come on board and get the services that we do provide. There's 2 operatories, so we can have 2 providers working at the same time. We do have a great space for a dentist and an assistant to provide restorative or surgical procedures, while I can do dental hygiene services in the other operatory. A very, very high-tech sterilization center. There's a bathroom on board. There's televisions over the chairs that people can use while they're getting their treatment done, just to ease any anxiety that they might have. So that is really an exceptional change that we have.
Well, as you were, and I'll interrupt you for a second there,
Yes.
because I'm very proud of what you've done with this model. But the original Smile Express was an RV that was retrofitted to provide dental care.
Yes.
This unit was built from the ground up for use
Yes.
as a dental facility.
Yes.
So it
From the chassis up, it was from the very beginning. It had a plan for it. Everything that has been done to it is to increase the ability to provide exceptional dental care on it. So it is a very different experience working in this when it's, there isn't anything that's in the way.
Yeah.
Everything there has a purpose, and driving it is much easier as well. The other unit was a 2005. This is a 2023. So, for me, I do wear many hats. I drive the mobile unit. I do the daily maintenance of it. If the black tank needs dumped, I'm the girl. I'm the one that does all that. So it is very nice to have something that's brand new. All the buttons work. Everything does what it is supposed to do.
But it was really neat going through it and having you explain all the different functions and how you personally had a hand in all those.
Yes.
Right down to, the ability to be able to play music and
Yeah.
entertainment in the unit. And again, I really appreciate how you pushed the limits and really got everything you wanted for this particular unit.
Well, thank you for
The
recognizing
security, everything. I mean, there wasn't, and I went through it and I was very impressed with, there wasn't anything that you forgot. I mean, this pretty thing.
I'm sure
pretty much-
I'll think of something, but
So anyhow.
so far, so good. So just to talk about the models that Smile Express utilizes in the community. Initially, when I conceived this program, my only goal was to provide dental services to kids in schools. And there is a great need there. There are a lot of kids who don't have a dental home that rely upon, if they're in pain, they go and they seek treatment for that pain. It really impacts their ability to learn, their ability to sleep. It can impact their airway. So there's so many things that early dental care can impact in a child's life. And I just wanted to be the conduit for that. When I was hired at the health department, I spent my days in my operatory at the health department seeing patients, every day. And there was something about it that I loved it, but I knew there was something more. And so I just knew that there was a way to get out and see the people who did not have traditional access, that are in dire need of dental care. And so that's kind of brings us to where we are today. And so what started as a one-pronged approach to the dental care that we provide has really evolved into a three-pronged approach. The school-based services are always going to be the foundation of what we do. That's something that we really, we spend about 2/3 of our time providing care in schools during the school year. The second prong that, I think has been very, very amazing for me is we have begun to see individuals who are in active substance use recovery. So in the spring of 2023, I was invited to come to a recovery center in town to provide services to individuals who are inpatient. It was a 28-day inpatient program, and I was a little taken aback. I wasn't sure, is this going to work? I didn't know what type of care these individuals would need, but I will tell you it has been one of the most life-changing experiences for me, because I feel like I'm really doing work that is important, and I get the ability to potentially change the ability for an individual who is in active recovery to stay on that path. And it's something that really, fires me up, and it makes me happy about being able to do that. And then the other thing that we're able to do is just provide general care in the community. We'll go to Milan Pushkar Health Ray, we'll do health fairs, we'll do parades, anytime that somebody in the community reaches out to us, we'll do our best to kind of fill whatever need that is. So currently our Substance Use Recovery Center partners is WisePath, WVU Center for Hope and Healing, and then we just recently started a relationship with Valley Healthcare Systems in Fairmont. We actually just had our first visit with them last week, and that was exceptional. We typically get an enrollment from these centers of around 10 individuals, every time. And if I go with a dentist and myself, we're able to manage that no problem. But before we went, they had 24 people that were interested in dental services. So I'm really excited about that partnership, because I know that we can really accomplish a lot with these individuals. So it's been a really good partnership. And I kind of alluded to it previously, but the care that we provide to these individuals has so much value. A lot of these individuals have neglected their oral health care. not on purpose. They've been, involved with other things, and they are in dire need of the ability to smile and connect with people. And we've had people in tears because of the work that we've done for them, and comments like, "Oh my gosh, I can go home to my family, and my kids won't say funny things about my smile," or things like that. So we know that people can be more employable. They can have better relationships. A lot of them are in pain, and that's just a chronic thing that they've dealt with, and that has been their normal. So to get somebody out of pain also increases the likelihood of them not resorting to using substances to reduce that pain. So there's that as well. We try to treat every patient that comes on board as a friend. I tell them from the very beginning that you're in charge. There's nothing I'm going to do that you're not going to, let me do willingly. I'm not here I don't have an agenda. I want to help you, and whatever we can do together to get that done. I think of that person as not just a mouth, but a person. I want to care for them in a holistic way. We go over blood pressure screenings, we go over their health, and, just kind of reinforce all these decisions that they can be making to, encourage them to be healthy. So I think that's been a really, really good thing. And also, I think that we're really able to reduce healthcare costs. A lot of individuals who maybe have Medicaid or no insurance, they spend a lot of times going to the emergency department to get antibiotics. That costs the taxpayers a lot of money. It is not an ideal solution for these people, and so we've definitely been able to make an impact there as well. So it's it's been gratifying, to be on the other end of that, to know that, this idea that I had in 2017 has brought us here today. But that also takes me to the fact that it is not just our little team that does this. We do what we do on the backbone of a lot of other support. And the commission being one of those specifically. I am a part of the Monongalia County Health Department. We are what we are because of your support as the commission. And so to have the support of my executive director, my dentist, other staff members, and then everybody in the community as well has been overwhelming, has given overwhelming support to us. So I always want to make sure that people don't think that, that's just Tiffany out doing, that. I could not do anything that I'm, been able to do without the support of the people that have gone before me and those that, daily, provide that support. And also, at the very beginning, we couldn't have done it without the Delta Dental Foundation grant to get us started. And then just recently, the Aetna Better Health of West Virginia provided us the $500,000 agreement, which, is going to be a huge game changer for our program. And then ultimately, the patients. We of course are not going to do what we do without the patients. And I really value everybody that comes on board, and it's an amazing opportunity to be able to serve people in that way, because we don't serve people that have the ability typically to walk into the dental office or drive to the dental office, walk in the door, provide payment, and then be able to schedule another appointment. So we really try to make sure our care is done in a way that is specific to a group of people that it's needed for. And then I just wanted to share a few pictures. There's Velvet and I, we try to have a lot of fun because it's a lot of work. We have long days, early mornings, so we really try to make the culture of what we do very positive. And I think we do a really good job of that. And but that's about it. So, and I wanted to share that picture. That is actually me at the Boy Scout Jamboree last year, taking a break. So.
A well-deserved break. Don, did you want to say?
Yeah, also, we're thrilled of what you've done, and because of that, you didn't say, but you also received one
Yes.
of the 11 nonprofits that
Thank you so
applied
much.
for a grant. And we felt that it was a really neat program that you planted to do, and that was using our opioid funds
Yes.
so we could help. And I saw that you did have a slide generally on that.
Yes.
But we're real pleased, and we thank you. I think it's just a unique program. Is this the only one in the state that does regionally, or?
So there are other programs throughout
Okay.
the state that do provide dental care.
But not to the extreme of.
I
Well-
asked you that last time, and I said you weren't sure that
Yeah.
there might be others, but I asked, are we the first?
I don't think that we are the first, but
The best?
of course.
Certainly the best.
Okay.
You know, I think because of the ability to have some autonomy with what I do, I try to be as nimble as possible and go to where the need is.
Right.
I don't have somebody really telling me what the mission of Smile Express should be. So I really try to make sure that we're serving the most people in the greatest way that we can. So, and the fact that we are doing so many different types of things, schools, the recovery centers, Milan Pushkar Health Right. We'll get calls all the time. Hey, would you mind coming out to do just education? And we just try to be the conduit for oral care for individuals who don't have traditional access.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been an amazing experience.
So I do have one question, but I first want to thank you for coming. Thank you for all that you do. I did a tour of the Smile Express, and just listening to Tiffany speak, it was really important to me that she come and the public could actually see the good work that's being done, especially with all the substance use recovery work that you're doing. We weren't even thinking about that when we started talking, and the health department started coming to us and talking about the benefits of a Smile Express program. But even back then, I could see the benefit because, being a coach of young girls when my daughters were playing softball, there was one girl that always kind of struck me as one of the best athletes on the team, very pretty girl. She just had, obviously, no dental care. And she was just so backwards.
Right.
And when she talked, she was always like this. And it struck me that when you take somebody like that and you change the trajectory of their dental care so that they can smile, and you hit it on the head when you said people that are in a dire need of a smile, to just, it was obvious to me the projection of that person's life that could
Sure.
change if
Sure.
they had dental care.
Right.
And that's why the health department, we created the Smile Express to give dental care to people that otherwise wouldn't receive it.
Right.
And it's important for the public to know that you guys aren't in competition with the dentists through town. I mean, when we created this, Commissioner Hawkins was a dentist, and I asked him,
Right.
I said, are we going to get grief from dentists because we're doing this and taking away business? But there is plenty of business to go around. And in how many years now? I said it, I'll probably get a complaint.
Thanks a lot.
We have not received a complaint from one dentist.
If I could say something about that, initially when we were conceiving this program, that of course was the number one, worry, that we would be the pariah of, the dental providers in the state, that, they're just going around, stealing patients here and there. With our school-based system, we make an effort to not encroach on somebody's relationship with their dental home. Because our goal, I really wish I could work myself out of a job with the schools. We want kids to have dental homes. When that kid gets an infection or falls down, I want that parent to be able to say, hey, dental office such and such that we've been coming to, I have a problem, can you see us today?
Yeah.
And that office will say yes. If they have no relationship with that office, they'll be like, well, sorry, we can't get you in today. So we have things in place that we try our very best, to not interfere. And parents have to enroll in our program. So it is not like we are going out and seeing kids that, the parents haven't asked us to see them. And with the recovery centers, I did see some data recently that, the sheer volume of individuals in West Virginia who have Medicaid who are adults. They currently get $2,000 worth of dental services every 2 years. Only about less than 50% of them have had a dental visit. And the reason is they can't get one. A lot of them are not interested in receiving dental care, and that's between them and their oral health. But there are a lot of people who are desperate to get into a dental office, and there is nobody there to make them an appointment, just because there are not enough dental providers in West Virginia, and my fear is that's going to increase. And so I think that really exacerbates the need for the modality of services that we provide with Smile Express. We're able to go to the places where there is no providers to see the people that haven't been seen. So it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that I've been happy to chip away at. But it's not without some, like what you alluded to. There are assumptions that are made, and that's that's just part of the job. People assume that, oh, we're in it for the money, or I work for the county. I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah.
I'm in it because I love it.
Yeah.
And it's very, very satisfying every single day, but it's hard.
No, you probably never go to work a day in your life, because when you do what you love, it's really not work.
It's a good time.
So I really appreciate it. And again, when you were telling me, and I could just see the passion about your first visit, and how anxious you were, and how rewarding after the fact that experience was. And thinking about those individuals that are in substance use recovery, they're staring at the scars of their addiction every time they look
Every
in the
day.
mirror. And you helping to remove that, and you helping them to go apply for a job and sit across from someone and say, yeah, I want to hire that person to work my counter,
Sure.
or something like that. I mean, it just, all these dollars that we have that we're spending on this opioid problem, here's one clear example that works.
Makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. So I just really appreciate everything you do. I can't say enough about your program. And again, I know you're very humble that you have a team. The health department is a big part of this, and you have your little team. But I really appreciate all the effort that you've done personally, that having this vision and taking it on, and sticking with it, and not taking no for an answer. I really appreciate it. So
All right. Thank you so much.
thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is our third presentation. We have representatives from Comcast here that are going to make an announcement about a couple community impact grants. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And wow, that is really a tough act to follow. So I can just sense how passionate you are about your work, and really it's inspiring to me to think like, wow, maybe I'm not doing enough for the community. So just keep up what you're doing, because it's really impactful. So we certainly appreciate that. So good morning, everyone. Thank you again for having me. So my name is Kevin Broadhurst, and I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs for Comcast in our Keystone region, which serves West Virginia. So the last time I was here, we talked about rural broadband expansion. That was back in the summertime. Really exciting announcement to expand our network to the more rural parts of the county. But here, I'm here today to really talk about another aspect of what we do to kind of help close that digital divide. So it's one thing to build a network and to expand broadband, but we know that if you don't have the skills to kind of use the internet, how to operate a computer, that it's really not going to help you all that much. So we have another aspect of our digital equity goals called Project UP, which stands for Unlimited Possibilities. And that's Comcast's $1 billion commitment to help close the digital divide, drive digital literacy, and improve economic mobility for the communities that we serve. So today, I'm really thrilled to announce that we're providing two $15,000 grants to two very worthy organizations right here in Morgantown. The first one is the West Virginia Women Work, who is here today to be on their behalf to accept the check presentation, and also is Morgantown Area Partnership, who I don't believe could make it here today. So unfortunately, they're not here today, but we're going to be providing $15,000 grants to each of these organizations. And the goal is to really help them with their work in closing that digital divide. So the Morgantown Area Partnership works to provide a resume bank, helps people find jobs, helps them with digital literacy skills, helps make them more marketable in their job search. And West Virginia Women Work has been dedicated to providing women with the training and skills they need for the last 25 years to enter into non-traditional careers. So things like skilled trades in construction and manufacturing. And their work helps elevate women's economic mobility, getting them the jobs they need. These grants are going to help close that digital divide, give them the skills they need to kind of advance in their careers. So if I could just invite Dara up here to say a few words about the work she's doing for West Virginia Women Work.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having us. So I am the Chief Financial Officer for West Virginia Women Work. And what we do is we have cohorts in Morgantown and in Charleston. And we train women to work in the trades. We run them through plumbing, electrical, those type things, so they can decide what they would like to do. And basically, we are a job placement. We're a pre-apprenticeship, and we are a job placement organization here in Morgantown. We're headquartered here in Morgantown.
Well, I really appreciate you being here today. I'm acutely aware of what you do. You're one of Mon County's best kept secrets. I know that March Weston is a looking on your website, I saw some testimonial from March Weston, how they, regularly, and there's a whole list of individual companies, not to just call out March Weston, but you do provide a very valuable resource to the community, and a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm glad with this opportunity to at least get people to know who you are. I know you've just been quietly in the background and doing God's work, but I really appreciate your organization and everything you do, and I'm glad that this can help. That this will help you with what you do. I think, and specifically, they're going to provide resume training.
Yes,
that's one of the
our
things,
soft
and
skills,
they're
yes.
going to do that at the public libraries. Originally, we tossed around a bunch of different ideas about what we were going to do, and we wanted to involve the public. We wanted to involve the libraries. We talked about doing things at senior centers and doing things with the library, but there's all kinds of dollars floating around for that. But I'm glad when they mentioned that they were considering your organization for a grant, I was like, absolutely. And then the partnership's going to work in conjunction with that, with the resume bank and again, helping the people that you train find work. So really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
And Jamie, you have a check to present? Sure.
Sure.
You want a picture?
We'll do it behind me.
Line up here in front of the, yeah, this is great.
How you doing? You shouldn't be playing the mix. That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Always a pleasure.
One of many things we're doing.
Yes.
Still more to come.
Yeah. I know that the public's aware of our work that we're doing with Comcast, which we have regular, every 2 weeks, we have meetings regarding our project, and things are moving along, and I think we're coming up on our first quarterly report, so we'll be reporting to the public as far as our status. But Kevin, your organization's been wonderful to work with, and I look forward to anything else that we can do with you. So I appreciate it.
One of the things we do appreciate is there's a lot of individuals, because it's an election year, yelling at the state and federal level, throwing out a lot of money. And the thing that we're really excited about with the county commission is we've actually come up with a plan. And that is key. And then even not only the big plan, but we said, what can we do with the other areas? And you came through and, the public-private partnership. This is an implementation of an actual use of the funds. And that's something we're very excited about. And we look forward to other organizations. And who knows, maybe the Smile Express might be available to to
Always
see
building new
something since
partnerships,
it's
yeah.
going regional.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw that out too.
No, that's great. Thank you for the suggestion. And yeah, I
Yes.
mean, Mon County is certainly ahead of the game here too,
Right.
because there's a lot of money floating around, but you really kind of got ahead of this and put together a good plan to execute on. So we're thrilled to be here and thrilled to be expanding. And it really is about a partnership, not only with the county, but with organizations like West Virginia Women Work. Like we know they do this stuff better than we do. So we find those kind of organizations to support their communities, and we feel like that's really a win-win for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's very important with the digital divide, and we recognize that we also want to focus on digital equity, the digital divide. It does no good to have connectivity when you have, people that are a little older and maybe not understand the technology, and it can be very frustrating for them. So we'll certainly, I'm sure we'll be talking about other programs where we can help that going forward. I know Sarah Pelfrey for the library system is very interested in that. So that's another focus of what we're doing, is also trying to make sure that we not only connect people, but also teach them how to
Teach them the
connect.
skills, yeah, it's absolutely necessary. So.
And you also came up, I can't remember the name of the community, it was like 30 or 40 homes.
Hagen's.
And we asked you to work with them, and you did it, and you completed it. And that's the kind of things we're looking for in neighborhoods, willing to come together and then offer them, we can help work together in providing that broadband.
Yeah, those are the best kind of scenarios, because oftentimes the communities, they know their communities better than
Exactly.
we do. So when we get information from you all, we're happy to kind of work with that. So
Well, thank you.
Well, a little bit of a primer. We do have, our next effort that we're going to be doing is trying to deal with some of those holes.
Yeah.
And we have our consultants actually going and trying to figure out where the holes still are in Mon County, in areas that may not be covered by any of these other BEAD dollars because they're considered served. And putting an open process out there where ISPs can come and can put in applications to serve these areas. So, and we got to do that quickly. So we're hoping to do that release something by the middle or the end of the month, and we need to allocate those dollars by the end of the year. So that'll be also something that we're looking to work with all the ISPs in regards to. So, all
looking forward to it. So
right,
Thank you very much.
take care. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is grants with our Commission Office Manager, Colleen Kuhn. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First up, I have the grant contract for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. We've been awarded $143,000 for that. And then I have requests for reimbursements for the Saukey Purpose Area 1 grant in the amount of $23,512.24. And Saukey Purpose Area 3 in the amount of $12,512.41.
Do I have a motion to approve the grant
So moved.
documents? Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Next item on the agenda is correspondence. Letters of support for West Virginia First Foundation grant applications issued for Montague County Child Advocacy Center and West Virginia University Substance Use Disorder Legal Assistance Program. Self-explanatory?
Yes.
Okay. Any other correspondence?
Yes, we did receive the finalized, excuse me, annual tax increment financing report from Steptoe and Johnson, who's been assisting the county the last few years on preparing that report for us. It's a required report that has to go to the State Development Office every year for the property tax. The excise tax is a separate report, and it comes later.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be uploaded to our website.
Okay. We've been running long enough. I won't bore anybody with the statistics right now. But,
Okay.
it's all good news. Any other correspondence, Commissioner Bloom?
No.
Okay, I have none. Unfinished business, we have none. New business. To consider on first reading a proposed revision to the Montague County Tower Ordinance to amend Article 4's non-construct zone definition.
That will be changed. It currently reads
2,000 feet.
200%, and it will be
Right.
changed to 110. The proposal was to change it to 110%
Okay,
of the proposed tower's height.
Move for approval.
second. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consideration to approve letters of support for applications for the West Virginia Department of Economic Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program for Frontier and Comcast. Letters of support are self-explanatory.
Move to approve the letters of support for both.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consideration to approve the request of the Montague County Abandoned and Dilapidated Property Enforcement Agency to move the following properties to the complaint stage in accordance with County Ordinance 2004-1. The properties are described as District 5, Map 17, Parcel 13.1, Grafton Road, and District 16, Map 1, Parcel 556, 19 Tunnel Street. Do I have a motion to approve the request to move the properties as described to the complaint stage?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion?
I think Alex is here somewhere.
Alex,
He
do
was.
you-
There he is.
Did you want to say anything about those properties?
And how long it's taken?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nothing super specific about either of these properties. They've been sitting in the NOV stage for a while. There have been some extensions granted, and no real progress has been made. So we're just asking them to be moved to the next complaint stage. That way we can continue on through this process, either to remediation and compliance or further down on.
Okay. You know, first and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, consideration to approve a disbursement method of county fire protection and all county fire protection funding received from the state. First, I'm going to provide a little bit of description of what we're taking up here. The state provided two funds, the All County Fire Protection Fund and the County Fire Protection Fund. The All County Fund is $3 million divided by population. The County Fire Protection Fund is $3 million, and it goes to counties that have an excess levy funds for fire protection services or an excess or a fire protection fee. In November of '23, we received $180,607.79 from the All County Fund and $209,749.13 from the County Fire Protection Fund. So that's a total of $390,356.92. So far this year, in August, we received $182,565.56 from the All County Fund. So the total so far in deposits is $572,922.48. The Commission asked the Volunteer Fire Department Association to make recommendations as to how these dollars should be dispensed. The association came back with a recommendation to distribute the money evenly between the 12 VFDs and the association. Concurrently with the VFD meeting, we received input from the City of Morgantown. They contacted the Commission to see if they would be eligible for any of these funds. The process for handling these funds, as well as the actual allocations that are being recommended, is as follows. Commission wants to hold back a contingency fund from these funds for emergency ad hoc requests. So from the first deposit, we've held back 10%. And then from the initial deposits and hereafter, we'll hold back 5% to build a contingency fund for ad hoc and emergency requests from these volunteer fire departments. So in accepting the volunteer fire department's recommendations with one modification, we added the city in. So the remainder and all future deposits in the state, less the 5% reserve for the contingency fund, will be distributed evenly to 13 entities. That's 12 VFDs and the city of Morgantown as one unit. The planned allocations that will be distributed are as follows, and I have that in this other spreadsheet. Essentially, all those entities will receive $40,366.04. With the one caveat, Star City, the VFD Association came to us last May and asked us if we would advance Star City dollars from that fund because we hadn't developed our process yet as far as how we were going to distribute those funds. So we granted that request, and we already gave Star City $19,000 to pay for their fire engine that they had bought, and then the engine subsequently needed replaced. So all the entities, the 12 of the entities will receive funding of $40,366.04, and then Star City will receive the balance, which is $21,366.04, taking in account the $19,000 that they already received. So that's how we decided we were going to actually disperse. So what we need is a motion to accept, to really formalize the policy of keeping we kept the 10% and then here on after 5% to develop a contingency fund, and then distributing any future dollars, less that 5%, to these 13 entities.
Well, the two separate,
Yeah,
so
there'll-
move the
there'll be a-
proposed, yeah.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Is this is how we're going to disperse.
Yeah, to propose and disperse the funds as stated.
Okay. I'll second that. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then the corollary, which we discussed, was to make sure that we flow down all of the state statute and regulatory requirements of these dollars to each of the entities. So I would entertain a motion to direct our staff to develop subrecipient agreements with each of these entities that would flow down all those requirements and again, some of those requirements we're still researching because they're kind of in limbo. I know one of the things that was talked about is all the VFDs would have to be on OpenGov.
OpenGov.
But the auditor's office, as far as I understand it, are not ready for that yet. So there are a lot of things in flux, but I would suggest the motion be that we direct our staff to develop those subrecipient agreements or something similar so that we can actually disperse with these dollars or allocate these dollars, however we decide to do that.
I move that our staff comes up with those agreements.
Okay, and I'll second that. Did I miss anything?
No.
I just want to get a clarification, and the reason is many people say they see the money and they think, well, you just get the 30 or 40,000. When you deal with the state and federal, there are strings attached. So what we are making sure is we are mandated by the state to be accountable for the funds. So we're making sure that they're going to be accountable, and that is a requirement, and that is why we have to do it that way.
Yeah, and
Okay.
as we discussed, we were talking about an allocation of these funds, so we approved that allocation. So
Right.
these funds will go to these entities. How they actually get the funds or how they can access those funds, our staff will develop in a subrecipient agreement, so that, again, we make sure that they're not going into this blind and we're not going
Right.
into this blind, and once we let the dollars out, then we can't pull back and get transparency as regard to how those dollars are spent. So we have first and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Sorry, it's fairly complicated.
Yes.
Consideration to approve an appointment to the Camp Muffley Advisory Board.
Barbara Johnson, sorry. Barbara Johnston has been serving on the board out there at Camp Muffley, and she would like to be reappointed. We haven't had any other applicants, and according to Commissioner Arnett, that would make the board full again
Okay.
once you do the reappointment.
So moved.
Okay, and I second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Dry mouth. Do we have any other new business items?
Yeah, so the Abandoned Dilapidated Property Enforcement Agency met this past Thursday. And you saw already the two recommendations for them to move those two properties over to the complaint phase. There was another property that they were dealing with, 485 Scotts Run Road in Osage. And that one has been in the complaint phase and should be moving on to the fine phase within another week or so. So I'm not sure that the agency has actually recommended that it get the fine phase be postponed. to afford the property. I guess they are making a little bit of progress on the property, and Alex could speak more to this. But they want some additional, they think they need additional time to pursue remediation. So as of Monday, we were still talking about how the commission may need to deal with this. Really, I think, anyway, if you want to talk to Alex, it's fine.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Yeah, so we had been, the property owner reached out to us last Monday prior to our meeting on Thursday. They moved to the complaint phase, or will be moving into the fine phase, I guess, here within the next week, sometime on around the 14th of this month. This property owner lives in Texas, inherited this property. A few years ago, there was a fire next door that damaged this property, and it's just kind of been sitting there. After it got moved to the complaint stage, we started seeing good progress on it. And so she had reached out to me. She is going to continue to look into remediation, either by fixing the property or by selling it, kind of with a clause that it needs to be remediated in accordance with our ordinance. And so I presented it to that board last Thursday to see if they would like to request you all to either modify that order or place another order extending that. Burnett and I have talked about this very in depth over the last week, and I spoke with Assistant Prosecutor Noel about this. You all have the authority to extend that order. If you were to do so, he recommends that you make it very clear why this circumstance is exigent, in the sense of why you're extending it, as to not create some sort of precedence that we're just going to do this with no reason. With that being said, you all also have the ability to say that this order has been issued and they did not timely file the appeal. In our ordinance, it does state that they have to file an appeal with the county clerk within 10 days of receiving that complaint, which was not timely filed. Now, if you all do not change this order in any way, that does not preclude her from filing an appeal with circuit court. We have a little bit of time before this goes into the fine phase. Like I said, this is something that no sooner than the 14th that was mailed out, so assuming that this property owner received that towards the end of that week. I think this warrants a little bit more investigation to figure out, I guess, what is the best option with our ordinance. And Renette and I are working on maybe modifying our ordinance in some way to give you all a little bit more discretion in terms of, if it's overgrown vegetation, we're going to give you X amount of days, versus this situation, we may give a property owner more days. But that's something that's going to have to be an amended ordinance that we have to work on down the road. But to say all that, to say I think we have at least another week to discuss this internally in terms of how to move forward, but we wanted to present it to you all today just to put it on your radar and allow you to dwell on it.
Okay, well, our next meeting would be the 16th, right? So,
Which is after.
So it's after the fact.
Yeah, so we sent this out on the 14th. It was moved to the complaint phase on the 14th of August.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't assume that she received that certified mail in Texas on the 15th. So I think that we would, at the very earliest, have until the 16th to make any recommendation of suspending that fine phase.
Then I'd rather hold off until we see what the recommendation is, and then decide at our next meeting.
Okay.
If that's,
And we'll certainly defer to your,
Okay.
will your committee be meeting before that?
Not
too?
in the interim.
The committee's recommendation is for you to
Ex-
suspend the
sus-
fine phase
Okay.
for 30 days.
30
days.
And the method to do that is to either extend the order or to issue a new order, right?
You could additional, how long is the complaint phase? 60 days?
The complaint phase is 60 days. So,
extend it 30 days.
yeah, I think in either event, you'd have to issue another order, either
For 60 days.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
extend it.
Well, why don't we just
Yeah.
prepare one? Why don't we prepare
I
one?
mean, if that's the recommendation of the committee, I mean, I would be, as long as you're documenting or you're relaying a willingness on the property owner to work and get to a final resolution. So given that, I wouldn't have any problem with extending the order.
the order for 60 days.
Yeah.
I think the internal question becomes the precedence with this. in
What's our
terms of-
order? Yeah.
Right.
So, and again, that could be solved going forward, so that there's built-in mechanism. But right now, it would be, I think the precedent would be documented
On one individual order.
evidence that these people are working towards that, and a recommendation from the actual board to give them more time.
The issue is that the state code does not specifically set forth the time frames that the process needs to be completed in. And so whenever the ordinance was originally adopted by a previous commission, we have no idea where they came up with the time, the 30 days, the 60 days, the 90 days. So, so that's what we're working through now, trying to figure out what is appropriate for the type of infraction that the properties are receiving.
Okay. But that's going forward.
That's a forward, yeah, that's.
So
definitely
the
not a
issue at
future.
hand is what to do with this particular property to give them more leeway to actually be in compliance.
My suggestion would be to add it to the agenda next week.
Right.
And between Alex and I, we'll come up with a formal recommendation on, after he's talked to the property owner and.
Because it doesn't go into the fine stage until we issue an order
Correct.
doing that.
Correct.
So if there is a lag in a day
Yeah.
or two,
I believe the
nothing
fine
happens.
phase is automatic. Once the order is sent, your complaint order is sent, it's stated on there, on or about this date, the fine phase will begin.
Well, on or
But does it begin whenever she receives the certified letter?
Exactly, right.
Okay,
So if she
you
received it on the
have-
That gives us the
17th.
flex.
You
Okay.
have a
Yeah,
little
okay.
bit of extra
Right.
time built
okay.
in.
So then this is a preview of next week's meeting that we'll talk about next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, any other new business?
No, that's all.
Okay. Reports from elected officials and/or department supervisors. Okay, seeing none. Reports from county commissioners. Tom?
Yeah, 3 issues. First of all, yesterday I was proud to represent the county commission in Judge Scott's chambers. We had the adult drug court graduation. We had 3 individuals graduate from what's called the All Rise program. And what was really neat was to see the families are invited to participate in the graduation. And this basically is an alternative program rather than putting the individuals in jail. And they get second chances. And as they said, they choose life or choose death. And they worked very hard and very excited. And it was a really proud moment for the 3 individuals. But it was even prouder for the families. They were very excited. And so that was a neat program to attend. The second was on Friday. I attended a meeting at WVU with the 3 Greene County commissioners and numerous individuals from WVU to discuss the possibility that Greene County has 132 acres in their airport that they own, and they don't know what to do with it. And they wanted some ideas of how to attract a factory or a business. And it was a really, really good conversation. And one of the things that I learned out of it that I did not know that WVU now offers, and this is something for us to deal with businesses in the future, is they have what's called a micro academy, where they have a model and a portal where they will package mini graduation programs and get college credits and develop materials for businesses that want to come in. And that was one of the items they were also proposing for Greene County. WVU was real excited because it was going across the invisible line of a state boundary, which has not been done before. So in looking at that, they were looking at the Appalachian Regional Commission is interested in this program, and what happens in Greene County will also benefit Monongalia County. And one of the things that came out of it was that WVU was contacting the Office of Management Budget, because this is Jeff's baby, the MSA number. It seems as though Greene County does not have a number at all. And we believe that if the MSA number and project can go with us, it could lower our number and actually benefit Monongalia County. So they were looking into that. So there were a lot of great things along those lines. The third issue is what many of us probably had to deal with in the last couple days. During the storm, we had 2 lights again that went out, and they were out for 48 hours. We received emails, phone calls. We contacted District 4. We contacted Charleston. I had Homeland Security 911 call. Everyone called. The city of Morgantown even called for us. And nothing was done until yesterday at 3:20, where we received a phone call finally back that said, we have contacted the state DOH, and we continue to be told that only the people in Charleston may approve the work order. And then we found out that a team from Charleston has been given the work order. And in talking to the city again this morning, when they try and call, they are told that the only people who are able to fix the lights if the city of Morgantown can't do it is from Kentucky. Why I'm bringing this up is that I do hope that, we again contact the state DOH and say this is just not a way to run the entire DOH system up in Monongalia County, that we continue to build more roads with more lights, and there's one individual in Charleston who has to approve this to get things done. It's just clearly inefficient, and it's clearly something that we have to look at to see what can we do to get some people trained up here that would be permitted. Unfortunately, even if we have the people trained, Charleston has to approve it. So somehow we need to redirect this entire process as, was it Roads to Progress? The more roads we're building, the more lights we're building. They're all state roads, but there's only one person in Charleston who can approve it. So hopefully we can work something out and get our elected leaders to go down there and see if we can make a modification. So that is why, and I believe it is working today. It started this morning that they finally got it fixed. So thank you. It's a frustration that I'm not sure. It's a county problem, but we have no control of it unless Charleston gives us the authority.
We have the same problem when the lights were out on the boulevard.
That's exactly right. It took 18 months to find the person who quit the job, who lived in Huntington, and we jokingly said that we thought it was because he was a Marshall fan. He was mad at us, and we couldn't get him to just approve the lights. So hopefully we can work that out. Yes. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Bloom. As you can tell from our agenda, it's been a busy couple of weeks since our last meeting. Last Thursday, I had a regular broadband call, and then in the afternoon, the administrator and I had training on our ADP system. It wasn't successful, but we're still plowing along. Friday, we had staff reports, and then I had a meeting with a representative from W Hospitals to talk about our options with our health department. This Monday, I had a call, the administrator and I had a call with legal counsel, and then in the evening, I had a call with a constituent regarding the Flagle Dam project. Tuesday, yesterday, we had the administrator and I had our HR team tag up, and then last night I was privileged to be invited to an event with J.B. McCuskey, and got a chance to catch up with J.B. He sends his regards. And today's a regular day. We have one work session this afternoon with the city and Mountain Line. Tomorrow is a busy day, meeting-wise. It's the second Thursday of the month, which means a whole suite of meetings for me. I have the MAP Executive Committee meeting. We have a Red Team meeting, Exit 155 tag up between that with the MMPO subcommittee that was delegated to heard the Exit 155 project. We have our development authority, and then after that, I'm meeting with Skylar Stover. He's the program liaison with the West Virginia Office of Energy. And he's responsible for the Coalfield Communities program, and he wanted to get up here and meet with the commission and meet with our development authority. And I said, well, there's a good opportunity. We have a meeting coming up, so I'll be meeting with him after development. I've invited him to the development authority meeting and then be meeting with him after that. And then in the evening, I was contacted by the individuals that are involved at the Van Voorst project. I guess he has a new proposal that he wanted to share with me as far as that project, so I'll be meeting with them. Friday, we have staff reports. We have a call with our legal counsel. I have a Comcast tag up, and then I have a tag up with our local broadband team. Saturday is our regular breakfast between Delegate Statler, Ronnie Lytle, and Frank Devano. We haven't been able to meet in like 3 or 4 months, so hopefully everybody's on for this this Saturday. Tiffany, again, I want to thank you for coming. I know you were kind of hesitant when I said, "Can you please come to a meeting?" But I think, as you can tell by the reaction, I think people, it's very helpful to your cause for people to know the good that these programs are actually doing, so I really appreciate it. And I do want to note that the Richwood buildings demolition started. I got an email on Monday that demolition has started, so that project's moving along. So there's a lot of good things, a lot of things that are going on. So having said that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We be gone.